It started with a phone call from my son, Leo. He was calm, too calm for a 12-year-old. "Dad," he said, "that Karen lady is outside again, and she's trying to get in." I froze. I was mid-presentation to a group of clients in Tokyo, but Leo's voice cut through everything. Then, just seconds later, the security notifications started flooding in. Someone was tampering with the front door. I switched to the live feed, and what I saw made my blood run cold. Karen Whitfield, our HOA president, stood at our front door, jamming a key into the lock over and over, yelling for Leo to open up. What she didn't know was that her stunt had triggered our emergency lockdown protocol. The flashing red and blue lights cut through our quiet suburban afternoon like a knife through butter. I watched through my security camera feed as 2 police officers burst through our community's front gate, their faces serious and determined. On my doorstep stood Karen, waving a key in the air like it was a badge of authority, completely unaware that her actions were being recorded, or that, in a matter of minutes, she would be the one answering to the law. Just a few months earlier, Leo and I had moved into Willowbrook Estates. I'm Marcus Chen, a single dad and software engineer. We were looking for a peaceful place with good schools and a safe environment, and Willowbrook seemed perfect until Karen happened. She ran the HOA like a queen overseeing her fiefdom. Within a week of moving in, she was already scrutinizing us. The first incident came after she spotted Leo walking home from the bus stop. She intercepted me in the driveway, her tone syrupy but edged with judgment. "Single parenting can be so hard," she said. "Have you considered after-school care? Children shouldn't be left alone." I politely explained that Leo was 12, perfectly capable of being home for a couple hours, and I work remotely. That explanation didn't satisfy her. Karen wasn't content to let it go. She began inventing rules, claiming the HOA prohibited kids under 16 from being home unsupervised. When I asked to see the bylaw, she said it was under revision and that I'd get a copy soon. That copy never came. But what did come was daily surveillance. Karen made it her mission to monitor our household. Every afternoon, she drove past our home in her silver SUV, sometimes parking across the street under the pretense of checking landscaping. Leo started feeling watched and anxious. He'd ask, "Why is the mean lady always sitting there?" I tried to reassure him, but the anxiety was mutual. Things escalated when she tried to enter our home. That Tuesday, I was presenting a multi-million-dollar proposal over Zoom when I saw the alerts. Front door tampering. I pulled up the live camera feed. Karen was at our door, inserting a key into the lock repeatedly. Through the audio speaker, I heard her yelling, demanding Leo open up. She claimed she was conducting a welfare check as HOA president and had a master key. Leo, to his credit, remained calm. He pressed the panic button we'd trained for, locking all doors and activating camera recordings. Then he called me, his voice steady. "She says she's the president and she's allowed to come in." I assured him he did everything right and activated the secondary lockdown myself. I addressed Karen through the speaker, firmly instructing her to leave the premises immediately. Instead, she grew even more agitated and called 911, reporting a possibly abandoned and injured child. She painted herself as a savior, trying to perform a lawful check. I immediately called 911 myself to explain the truth. That an unauthorized woman was trying to enter my home while my son was safe inside. The dispatcher confirmed that units were en route. I ended my call, logged off from work, and rushed home. By the time I arrived, 2 cruisers were parked outside. Officers Martinez and Thompson were standing with Karen on our porch, clearly trying to make sense of the story. Leo, still inside, spoke to them through the video doorbell. "I'm okay. My dad's on his way. I was doing homework," he told them. Karen, spotting me, launched into a tirade. "That's the negligent father. He left his child alone again and won't allow basic welfare checks." But the officers didn't seem convinced. Officer Martinez turned to me calmly and asked me to explain. I used my actual key to open the door. Karen's so-called master key had failed, of course, and invited them inside. Leo was at the kitchen table, working through a stack of math problems like it was any other day. The officers confirmed he was safe, had food, water, and a direct line of communication to me. Then I played them the footage, Karen attempting to enter, her yelling, her using a duplicated key. The timestamp revealed she'd been trying for 10 minutes before calling police. When Officer Thompson asked where the master key came from, Karen fumbled. She admitted to having copied it during a maintenance visit months prior, without my consent. That set off a chain reaction. I presented a folder I'd compiled with timestamps of Karen's surveillance, screenshots of her false HOA claims, and neighbor statements. One neighbor, Mrs. Rodriguez, had even captured footage of Karen sitting in her car across the street for over 20 minutes, watching our home. The more evidence I shared, the worse Karen looked. Officer Martinez turned serious, explaining that knowingly filing a false emergency report was a crime. Karen tried to backpedal, insisting she had good intentions, but no one was buying it anymore. Neighbors were gathering outside, pretending to water lawns while filming the scene. Phones were out. Word was already spreading. The final blow came when the officers asked for the HOA bylaw that supposedly allowed her to conduct welfare checks. She didn't have it. She claimed it was at home and being finalized. Officer Thompson delivered the line that made my entire year. "Ma'am, you're being cited for attempted unlawful entry and for false reporting to emergency services." Karen stood there, sputtering and stunned. Her confidence drained from her like water through a sieve. She pleaded, citing her position and responsibilities, but the officers were firm. As the citations were issued, I informed them that I'd be pressing charges. When I mentioned my lawyer, her face went pale. The fallout was immediate. The next HOA meeting was packed. Even the residents who usually skip these things were there. My lawyer, Jacob Morrison, who specialized in HOA disputes, laid everything out. Unauthorized key duplication, false reporting, harassment. He demanded a review of the HOA's key access policies. It turned out Karen had made several copies without board approval. Other board members turned on her. The treasurer revealed Karen had tried to push a welfare check initiative that was unanimously rejected. The secretary confirmed no authority was ever granted to enter private homes. The board called for a vote of no confidence. It was unanimous. Karen stood up, shouted that the community would crumble without her, and stormed out, her heels echoing across the room. Legal consequences came fast. She was fined $5,000 for false reporting and faced misdemeanor charges for attempted unlawful entry. Her real estate license was suspended pending investigation. I filed a civil suit for harassment and emotional distress. The settlement awarded us $15,000. Karen was ordered to complete 100 hours of community service and was banned from ever holding HOA office again. The judge also issued a restraining order barring her from coming within 100 feet of our property. I'll never forget her face when the judge read the verdict. Her power, her arrogance, gone. The woman who tried to rule our community like a dictator was now facing real consequences. All because she couldn't accept that not every door was hers to open. If watching HOA Karen finally get what she deserves made your day, smash that like button. And don't forget to subscribe for more insane neighborhood showdowns, justice served, and real-life drama you won't believe.